Hi, Leroy, and hi everyone. Welcome to this iCore Midlands webinar in AI in Corrosion series. Today we have exciting new presentation on AI in Corrosion webinar series. iCore Institute of Corrosion, based in the UK, and we have various branches. And Institute of Corrosion Midlands branch is hosting this webinar. My name is Praful Sharma. I'm the chair of the branch, and I'm glad to invite Mr. Leroy Diaz, who is the CEO and co-founder of Steelcorr, and doing a lot of work in marine sector. They have using AI, and today's topic is about using AI for corrosion mapping. Looking forward to that, Leroy, and we have some participants. Just to say that we have over 170 registrations from across the globe. They're still joining. We are seeing good numbers already, and it's across the globe, which means we are spanning multiple time zones. So thank you for your time. So over to you, Leroy.
Thank you, Dr. Praful Sharma. Thank you very much. I'm going to quickly share my screen now. Right, so here we are. If you can quickly give me a quick nod that you can see my screen, Dr. Praful, and then we're good to go.
Yes, I can see your screen. I'm good to go.
Perfect. So good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you are joining from. I am speaking to you from the lovely city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. We are just going past 8 o'clock at night here. It's 8 p.m., 8:05 p.m. in the night. A rather warm day. We had a day temperature of about 38 degrees centigrade with a 55% humidity. Is now at about 35 degrees centigrade with 55% humidity. It feels like 45 degrees centigrade. So a warm and sticky day in Dubai. Before we dive into the subject, I just want to say it's an absolute honor and privilege for me to be here today and speak with you. I want to thank the Institute of Corrosion Midlands branch, and in particular, Dr. Praful Sharma for giving me this opportunity. Also, thank you to the Steelcorr team for supporting me, particularly Ruben Dias for supporting me with the slides and with the setup of this webinar. Today, we're going to talk about the challenges faced on ships, in particular, in the maritime sector, the challenges faced with corrosion management on ships, and how we address some of the challenges by using technology and by using AI to map corrosion on ships. To give you a bit of context, and I'm sure that the audience members who are from the maritime sector will already know this, but if maritime is not your core industry, I just want to share a little bit of context with you. 90% of the world's goods are moved by ships. So practically most of the things that you see around you, right from your shoes to your refrigerator, to your washing machine, to your furniture, to your food, such as bananas, your avocados, your wheat, your pasta, your vegetable cooking oil, your crude oil that is used in your industries, your cars that you drive, all of these have got you at some point by ship. They have moved from the point where they were made or manufactured or originated to the point where they were sold to you, and at some point of the journey, they were on a ship. Shipping or sea transport is by far the most efficient and the most cost-effective way of moving goods across the world. Ships spend a majority of their time in the high ocean, in the open seas, and the only time they come to shore is primarily for loading and unloading of the cargo. So be it crude oil, be it LNG, be it cars, be it fertilizer or timber or iron ore that they need to load in bulkers, as you see at the bottom end of the screen. That's when they come to shore. And of course, they come to shore for dry docking, which is once every 2.5 or 3 years, right? But majority of the time, they are at sea, which makes it difficult in terms of inspection and being able to get people on the ship to do inspections, particularly for corrosion management. A little bit on the on the ownership structure. So it's important for you to understand this, because then you understand why it is critical for these assets to stay working and stay afloat in prime condition. Ship owner is the one who invests money in the assets and who owns the asset, right? The ship owner uses the services of a ship management company, and that management can be technical or commercial. So a ship manager, basically, a ship management company is responsible for the smooth operation of the ship. They are the ones that are responsible for making sure that the ship stays in top condition, it is fit for purpose and fit to carry the cargo that it is intended to carry. The ship management company also hires the crew that is on the ship, and that crew is responsible for the maintenance of the asset while it's afloat. The other party in this equation is the charterer. Now, the charterer is the one who hires the asset. Now, he's possibly the most important part of this equation because he's the one that pays for this asset. Now, look at it as if you want to move your house and you move furniture, you will rent a pickup truck. Or if you want to move pipes from a factory to the site, you will hire a truck. In the same way, when you want to move goods from one point to the other, the charterer will hire a boat, depending on what goods he wants to move, hire a ship, pay the ship owner a daily fare, and use that ship to move the cargo from one point to the other, right? So that's the kind of ownership structure of a ship. Now, make no mistakes, a ship is a multi-million-dollar asset. It costs anything from $25 to $100 million, depending on what kind of ship it is. Now, the ship that you see on your screen, it's a chemical tanker. It is about a 60,000 deadweight chemical tanker. And the tanks that are on the ship are used to carry chemicals from one point to the other. The rates or the rental rates for the ship per day can range between $5,000 to $100,000 per day. That's what the charterer will pay the ship owner in order to hire that ship and move the cargo. The reason I'm highlighting this is because it highlights the importance of how relevant it is for that asset to remain available, not have any breakdowns, not be detained, and be fit for purpose as much as possible, so that the ship owner can make money and get a return on the investment on that asset. Another relevant figure is the cost of replacing steel. Now, it costs between $4,000 and $10,000 to replace a ton of steel on a ship, depending on where that ton of steel is on the asset. In contrast, it costs only up to $500 to maintain that same ton of steel with paint for over 5 years. So it's a no-brainer that it makes sense to maintain steel with paint and with proper corrosion management techniques in place to ensure that it doesn't get to the point where it needs to be replaced, right? This slide is self-explanatory. I don't need to explain that rust will indeed destroy a ship. It's a threat not just to asset integrity, but it's a threat to safety and environment. Now, why is it a threat to the environment and safety? Because you can imagine that if this valve, this flange joint leaks, and you got crude oil or chemicals leaking off this on the deck of the ship, a ship that's sailing in the water, that crude oil, that chemical is going to go straight into the seawater, into the ocean, and contaminate the water. Apart from the reputation damage that this will cause, there's a huge financial damage or their fines are so huge that it can set back the company quite a bit. So it pays to make sure that your ship does not get to a point of deterioration where this kicks in. The other relevant factors are there are several regulatory inspections on a ship, either by the charterer, who will hire a surveyor to vet the ship each time it has to carry a cargo. There are also port state and flag state inspections on the ship to make sure that your ship is conforming to the latest standards that it is supposed to abide by. So if you look at the top right where you got the cargo tank, now clearly that cargo tank, if a surveyor or a charterer comes and inspects that cargo tank, he's not going to accept that cargo tank for carrying vegetable oil for food grade consumption, right? Or to carry a high purity chemical because that will contaminate a cargo. So that will get rejected by the charterer, which means you're not making your daily hire rate. The vessel is off hire until you can fix this. You can imagine the financial damage of between $5 to $100,000 per day. Similarly, what you see on the top left are vents. Now, vents are normally used for cargo tanks, and the purpose of a vent is to ensure the escape of gases while the tank is being loaded or unloaded. So if these vents are clogged due to corrosion or contamination, it stops obviously the escape of the gases. Now that can cause an explosion of the tank. It's a huge safety risk. Again, safety of the crew is of prime importance, of course. And if the port state finds your vents to be clogged or corroded, they can detain your ship and stop it from sailing, which again indicates a loss of hire and a loss of revenue for the company. Now, we're not going to talk about hull fouling, but I just thought I'll mention it here because it's extremely relevant for a ship. Hull fouling has serious consequences because it leads to higher fuel costs. What you see in the background of this image is a ship that is fouled with grass and shells. It leads to higher fuel cost, higher emissions, and obviously in some case, a huge fine for transporting invasive species from one country to another in the water. Now, there are different approaches for corrosion management when it comes to a land-based asset as opposed to a sea-based or an ocean-going asset because the parameters are different. The metrics of evaluation are different, which we'll go into. What are the challenges on a ship? So obviously, as you can see, there's several challenges. I've listed some of them, but I'll highlight a couple of them. One is your ship is not accessible for inspections as a land-based asset. You cannot get an inspector at your will, put him on a ship and let him conduct the inspections because, like I said previously, the ships are at sea most of the time. When they do come to port, they're busy with cargo operations of loading and unloading. The ship is not available for an inspection. So there's limited opportunity or limited windows for ship inspections. The other aspect is for the crew, there's limited connectivity on board in terms of internet and Wi-Fi. You do not have unlimited access to internet connections. The third part is the frequent crew changes. The crew on a ship changes every 3 months, which means there's limited ownership for the asset. So once the crew changes and goes to a different ship, they may or may not come back to the same ship again. So there's no ownership of the asset with the seafarer, with the crew. So that's why it's important to have a mechanism in place that will, by default, give you a continuous monitoring system, regardless of who the crew is and regardless of how frequent the crew changes on the ship, right? So we felt a more holistic approach was needed. And it's not just a matter of making inspection reports, but we needed to create a holistic approach and a holistic solution in order to deal with the challenges that are faced on a ship. That's where the Steelcorr Digital Paint Report app kicks in. Now, this is a mobile-centric app. The app's available on Play Store and App Store. You can download it from there. You, of course, need a username and a password. Now, that's given to you upon subscription. Now, this app is customizable for every ship type. So every specific ship has a predefined list of locations that needs to be monitored, right? Before we give you the username and the password for that particular ship, we preload all the locations of that ship onto the app. So when the crew log into the app, they already know the list of locations that need to be monitored. So it's literally a point and shoot kind of a mechanism. So the crew go to the app, the crew, which are not necessarily paint inspectors, they are not necessarily corrosion engineers, right? They are crew with, and their domain strength is they are good seafarers, they're good engineers in terms of maintenance, not necessarily paint experts. So we give them a simplistic mechanism wherein they use any mobile device to capture the images of predefined locations on the app. The way the app is set up is when they log in and they open the app, they see the list of locations, they simply tap on the location, capture a picture. The app even tells them where they need to stand in order to take the picture and what the picture should look like, of the particular location. So it's very simplistic for the crew. Once he's finished taking the pictures, again the app works in offline mode because you do not have an internet connection throughout the ship. The internet connection is only available in the accommodation unit of the ship. So when the crew is on the deck of the ship, they can use the app in offline mode, capture all the images. When they go back to the accommodation unit, they simply tap upload and the data gets transmitted to shore. So that's how we take away the cumbersome workload for the seafarer, for the crew. Now, in contrast, gentlemen would need to take 100 or 200 pictures, come to the office, connect the cable, download the images, put them in a Word format, resize them, put captions, make sense of the images, and then email that. Imagine the time that it would take for him to do all that. In the case of the app, he simply clicks the pictures. It takes him about an hour and a half to click 150 pictures. Clicks the pictures because they are predefined, point and shoot, click the pictures, hit upload, job done. That's how simplistic it is to use the app. There's one app for all areas of the ship. So whether it's your deck, your tanks, your superstructure, your underwater, whether it's you're making daily reports, you use the same app for all areas of the ship. That's how simple it is. Now, what do we do when the photographs come to the server? We use AI to process these hundreds of photographs, right? Because each report can have 300 or 400 photographs. Rather than have a human being go through these individual photographs and make sense of them, we use AI to quickly process these hundreds of photographs and objectively assess the corrosion level in each photograph. So AI looks at each individual photograph, assesses the level of corrosion and fouling if it's underwater, assesses the level of corrosion, and gives you a metric of corrosion and repair area in each photograph. So just to show you a few examples, on the left is the photograph that was uploaded by the crew. On the right is what the AI has done to it and highlighted all the yellow spots, which is where the corrosion is on this particular image. Similarly, it's done here. So every photograph that is uploaded by the crew is analyzed. This is a cross deck between two cargo holds on a bulk carrier, same way. This is the cargo tank, a suction bell mouth area of a cargo tank. So as you can see, all corrosion spots are identified and marked up. So you know what the corrosion level is. You also know what the repair area that's calculated by the app. What we then do is at the back end, we stitch all this information together and give the user a dashboard that with all the relevant information, right? So the user can see at a snapshot the good, fair, poor areas on the ship, right? You can see in a pictorial manner where the hotspots on the ship are in terms of green, orange, and red areas. So he knows whether the maintenance is being done as per the plan or is it going downhill. Again, this is a continuous monitoring system, which means every quarter a new set of photographs get uploaded and this keeps changing and gets updated. So you know all the time what is happening on your ship. So this is not a one-off inspection. It's a continuous monitoring system wherein the crew, by way of a regime, are told to put pictures every quarter, every 3 months. Those pictures get processed automatically and you see this intuitive dashboard on your screen. So this tells you the total corrosion area, it tells you the total repair area, and also gives you an indication of how much paint you would possibly need to repair this. Now this particular image or pictorial overview is for a tanker. If I go to the next one, now this a container ship obviously has a different kind of a deck. So this pictorial overview is for a container carrier because it's got cross decks, it's got different kind of a format of the deck. You see the same information, but you've got the pictorial overview, which gives you a quick understanding of what your ship looks like. And again, because it's a continuous monitoring system, you'll keep seeing that information change as you go along. You do the same thing for cargo tanks. You see a pictorial overview of cargo tanks based on the photographs that are uploaded for the different sections of the cargo tank. Now remember, all these locations are predefined on the app, so the crew can simply go and put the photographs of these locations. We do the same thing for ballast tanks, depending on what kind of format you've got for ballast tanks. Again, the app is customizable, right? We do the same thing for the underwater area, wherein we detect soft fouling, hard fouling, and detachment. So you also get an understanding of what the underwater area of your ship looks like, which is very relevant in terms of your fuel consumption, in terms of your emissions. We made our app compatible with drones, which means if you're sending in drones through your tank, or you're sending a drone underwater to capture images, you can use the same app, simply connect it through a cable, and use the same app to conduct drone inspections on your ships as well. All the information that's generated on the app, apart from being on the dashboard, is sent to stakeholders via email. So you're not looking for this information, right? This comes to you straight via email in your inbox. Apart from the corrosion, you can also manage your paint consumption on the ship. So you get a quick overview of what is your paint consumption on the ship versus what the corrosion level on your ship is. So that kind of gives you an understanding of how your paint is being put to use on the ship. We allow you to trace the photograph, so you can go at any point and click on the dates and click on the location and see what a particular location looked like previously, how it has changed over time. And you can do this at a click of a button, right? You can also benchmark your assets across different ships. So you can go and look at, for example, the forecastle deck on 3 different ships or 10 different ships and see how it looks on different ships and understand whether the maintenance on one ship is different from the other, and use that for benchmarking of your fleet as well. The crew, of course, can show off the good work that they're doing by making daily reports. We are particularly pleased by the feedback that we get from the crew, because that for us is the link that helps us, because you've got to remember that crew that we use for capture of the photographs are not paint inspectors, they're not corrosion engineers. But the way we simplify the process is that we load up the app with all the locations. We make it simple for the crew. It's point and shoot literally. So they point to the location on the app, they take a picture, upload that. It takes them 1/10 of the time that would normally take them to make a report, and which is why the feedback from all our crew is that they love it, because it saves them time. It's easier to upload. They don't have the headache of taking photographs, resizing them, downloading them, putting them in Word formats, putting them in Excel formats, and emailing them. Everything is done by the app, right? When it comes to your cybersecurity and data privacy, that's taken care of because we securely host your data on the cloud. The access to the data is controlled. Only the subscriber decides who gets access to the data and for how long. We've spoken a lot, and in order to summarize this before I end up, I just got a 2-minute video that I would like to play that would kind of bring all this together and will summarize the entire app in under 2 minutes for you. So I'm just going to play that video for you now.
Can AI help vessel managers save time, money, and support their ESG goals? Corrosion and hull fouling are a serious threat to your multi-million-dollar assets. Poor fabric maintenance can lead to port state and flag state detentions, rejection by charterers, a bad reputation, and is also a huge safety risk. Hull underwater fouling leads to higher fuel costs, higher emissions, and often draws big fines. So, how can technology help? The AI-powered Steelcorr Digital Paint Report app is a comprehensive solution that supports a vessel's fabric maintenance and hull fouling monitoring program. Your team simply uploads photos, our app does the rest. All deck, tanks, superstructure, hull underwater, daily reports, and SIA 2.0 photo reports can now be done using a basic mobile phone. The app is also compatible with drones for tank inspections or hull underwater surveys. AI is used to process the hundreds of photographs and establish the corrosion trend and fouling pattern on an asset. The pictorial dashboard highlights the critical areas and provides relevant information, such as the repair area, paint quantity estimates, and hull fouling patterns, thus enabling timely maintenance. Stakeholders are notified via emails. Onboard paint inventory management can be done via the same app. The app is mobile-centric and reports can be made without an internet connection. The app also saves time spent by the crew in the making of reports. No more transferring photos to the computer, resizing, formatting, or emailing is needed. The app does it all. That's why the crew love our app. And rest assured, your data is securely hosted on the cloud. Only you decide who gets access to the data. Interested? Check out steelcorr.com.
So that is it from me. I think I've summarized everything I needed to say. So I just want to say thank you for your attention, and I'll hand the floor back over to Dr. Praful Sharma.
Thank you, Leroy. This was very informative, great pictorial presentation, and I really enjoyed it. And now we have question rolling in. So just for the audience, I hope you got some information here. Please feel free to post questions on the Q&A tab, and we'll try to address as much as possible. If we can't, then if you're running short of time, then we will get back to you on email. So please keep it on in the question and answer session. So I have my questions, but I'm on a lower priority. I would say let's go to directly the questions which are coming in. I would say the first question. So I will read out to you, Leroy, and then you can answer that. So any Rust grades like RI1 to RI5, example from RI1 to RI5, a classification within ISO 46283 that describes the extent of corrosion being used?
No, we don't do it as per RI, because like I said, on a ship, the metrics or the parameters for control are a bit different. It's more a visual inspection. So it's not necessarily an in-depth inspection. So it's more a cosmetic appearance inspection. So we classify it based on percentages of acceptance. So it's between 0 and 1, 1 and 3, and about 3. So that defines the good, fair, and poor classifications.
Thanks, Leroy. Next question. What is the resolution of defect detection?
So regardless of, our app is agnostic of the device that is used to capture. So you can use a cheap $50 phone, or you can use an expensive tablet to capture, right? It doesn't matter what kind of device you use to capture. Most devices capture very high resolution pictures nowadays, right? At 6 and 7 MB. We resize those pictures to 1 megabyte before sending it to our AI model. And we are quite satisfied with the results that we get from the 1 MB resolution picture that goes to the AI model. Our AI model is at about 95% accuracy at the moment.
Got it. Thanks. Next question. Can it differentiate between the actual corrosion site and where the color change is due to just runoff of water from corroded site?
Yes, so we've put a lot of effort into the training of this model. So it's a deep learning model. So it's not just based on the color of the defect. It's also takes into account the context of the picture. So we've trained the model with, I think, now close to 20,000 photographs over time. A model has undergone several iterations, and I think we are at the 7th level of our model at the moment, which is how we've got to a 95% accuracy level. So to answer your question, yes, it does differentiate, but it basically simply highlights. What our app does is, apart from highlighting the corrosion level, it also draws a repair area around that particular corrosion. So it kind of gives you a bounding box and calculates, because even if it's a runoff or a stain, you still need to repair it, right? You cannot leave it because it looks horrible, it looks ugly. So you need to fix it anyway. So we also give you a repair area calculation. Apart from the actual corrosion, we give you a repair area metric as well that you can use to calculate your paint consumption.
Okay, so you differentiate that as well as calculate and give the report as well. So that's great. Actually, I saw in your one of the slides, there were the stairs, and when you run the AI model, it just highlighted the non-run actual corrosion, paint peel-off area, and then the runoff was still not touched. So I had the same question basically, but it's great.
Yeah. So like you said, you're right. The highlighted area is the corrosion, but when you get the email, there's a bounding box around that corrosion as well, which gives you the repair area.
Great. So here's a question from Gordon McKinnell. Does the app have any API connectivity into other inspection systems?
So at the moment, not other inspection systems. We can, of course, talk about this if there's an interest. At the moment, we have API connectivity to send the information of the app to different business intelligence dashboards of the companies. So many of our clients, just to highlight here, is we have over 500 ships and rigs that use our app at the moment in the industry as paying customers. Many of them send this information to a business intelligence dashboard. So the information that you see on our dashboard can be sent wherever you choose to. And I'm sure if there is a need to link to an other inspection app, we can talk about it. But I cannot give you a yeah or no answer directly without knowing the details.
And good stuff. Thank you. Now, actually, you mentioned about 500 ships being using this. So that brings me to a point where we keep hearing about AI is in its infancy in corrosion space. Hey, corrosion engineers will take long time. But here I'm seeing this that these are 500 ships. These are real practical applications converted, not just AI models in, but it's a real product which is in the hands of the people, right? So which is good stuff. In fact, the previous speaker, we had a previous webinar with Abyss Solutions, Mr. Kashif, and he gave the same point that these systems, their system is also AI based and for offshore rigs, and it was incredible to see that there's a big adoption already. So we are not talking; it's happening in the field. It's commercial. It's available in the hands of people. So AI is not like pipe dream here.
No, definitely. In fact, our annual revenue has grown 75% year on year in the past 4 years. Last year we became a profitable company. So we are a startup. We were a startup. Last year we became a profitable company purely based on revenue from customers. So
Well, I can see the pain, and I think it's for any new technology, any new company. I mean, I come from similar background as well, corrosion radar, and it's a milestone that when a company becomes profitable, right? New technology, and it is
the
a
way
service. It is a service done to the world that hey, adopt this new technology. We are creators of that, and then it becomes sustainable. So it's a milestone.
Yeah. So for us, it's very clear because we are the way we talk to customers because we are confident that we are giving them value, right? We are confident that we will change the way you look at your corrosion management program. And we will add value. That's the level of confidence that we've got, and that's why most of our trial customers convert to paying customers within a month.
Good. So Leroy, we have a lot more questions coming in. Let's see how many we can address today. And obviously we can chat a lot. And so let's see. So Juan Carlos is asking a question: how corrosion depth is assessed? In case of corrosion, how remaining life is assessed to determine when to repair?
So we do not assess corrosion depth at the moment. I think that was the Abyss solution maybe does that better than us in terms of for platforms. So as I said, the need on ships is a bit different. The need on ships is that you need to look at what's going on and they have people to fix it before it gets to the point of no return, right? The point is to identify it and nip it in the bud before it becomes a pit in the corrosion. So we do not, we just identify the level of the corrosion for you, quantify it for you, but we do not analyze the depth. We also do not predict remaining life because again, unlike an unmanned platform, a ship is always manned. It goes to the dry dock every 2.5 years as well. There are riding crews that can go on a ship to fix it. So our job, or we look at our job as a continuous monitoring system to create those alerts to fix something before it gets to a point of no return.
Got it. So it's more of a volume or surface area estimation of and then bring it a summary to the end user and they can
Correct.
estimate rather than go
And take
quantification.
action before it gets bad.
Got it. So in that sense, it's custom. I mean, this AI model and this app as a product is customized for marine sector and ship sector.
It is.
I will ask my question later on. That there can be various applications of it. But coming back to the question and answer, so Sheila is asking, how long does it take Steelcorr to onboard a ship to an app?
So that happens pretty quickly. Sheila, it takes us, what we do is we take the GA plans of a ship, like I said, because the app is customized for every ship, right? If you decide to subscribe to the app, so we take your GA plans, and based on the GA plans, we plot the locations based on our experience. We plot the location on the ship, and it can take anything up to a day before you approve it, and that's how quickly we can onboard your ship, literally. So it's very, very quick.
Great. Next question from Stephen. How many images per tanker estimated, say, for quarterly inspection?
So we do it in batches, Stephen. Like I said, we class because it's very difficult for the person on the ship to take all the photographs in one go. So we have main deck, superstructure, ventilation, tanks differently. So for a main deck on a typical tanker or a product carrier, there are about between 200 and 300 images that they need to put on. And again, we predefine the list of locations. We predefine the number of images for each location. We show the crew where he needs to take the picture from. We show him a sample of what the picture should look like. There's a guide that shows up on the camera of how he needs to take the picture as well.
Thanks. Peter is asking damage mechanism identification.
Uh, not sure what the question means, but if you're talking about mechanical damage,
No, I would think, I mean, I'm interpreting it that it may be like, is it due to external corrosion or is it due to microbial corrosion, etc.? That's damage mechanism. That's what I'm
we don't
interpreting.
differentiate. We don't
Right.
differentiate. Yeah.
Or crevice corrosion, right? I mean, corrosion is a corrosion for you. That's what you're saying.
It corrosion is corrosion basically, and like I said, on the ship, like I said, the requirements are very different from land-based assets.
Got it. So next one is, what is the model based of this product? Is it a CNN model, YOLO model? I mean,
It's
beyond.
a CNN model. It's a CNN deep learning model, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Melvin question is amazing presentation. That's a compliment to you, Leroy.
Thank you. Thank you, Melvin.
Being a sailor, I'm aware of the pain points on a standard way of reporting. Earlier, it was personal interpretation. So Steelcorr is fantastically addressing this pain point. So I think it's a compliment. But
Thank you
is
very much.
the Steelcorr app suitable only for ships, or can it be used on other marine assets?
So we started off with ships, Melvin, initially, and like I said, as we grew, let's say we crossed 500 ships this year, and surprisingly, this year we were approached by jack-up rig owners. So as of the past 3 months, we were able to onboard 2 major jack-up rig owners with their rigs because just like ships, jack-up rig owners were facing a pain point in terms of corrosion in their drill water tanks, in their chemical tanks, in the preload tanks. And they needed an app to kind of monitor this on a continuous basis in order to prevent it going beyond repair. So we basically started using on jack-up drilling rigs as well.
Okay. Another question is, how can the AI model classify rust types? It is with image RGB. I mean, it's a technical question, but I'm not sure I understand it. But is it with image RGB?
No, so basically it's a deep learning model, like I said. So it does not, it looks at the image, it looks at the context of the image, the texture of the image, and obviously the model is trained, like I said, with close to 20,000 images. It's a deep learning model. And we've got different models for different areas of the ship. So we have a deck model, a superstructure model, a tank model. So the image goes through that particular model and it's analyzed there, and that's where the results come back to you.
Okay. So Peter is asking RGB camera integration for color correlation and identification of types of corrosion products. Is that something which you do?
Again, like I said, we do not differentiate between types of corrosion at this point, Peter. At the moment, it's general corrosion that we look at. Maybe sometime on the road, somewhere on the roadmap, we can go into the details, but that was not a pain point for the industry at the moment. For ship owners, that was not a pain point. The pain point of ship owners was to make sure that you do not get sufficient buildup of rust that will warrant steel renewal, and to be able to arrest that before it gets to a point of steel renewal.
So thanks. And Abdul Rahman is asking, do you have any reputable client who's using this app? I believe big brand names kind of thing, and whether they give you any feedback?
So yes, we've got, if you look at our website, there are, like I said, it's always good when we talk about ourselves, but when other people talk about us. So if you go and look at our websites, one of our biggest users is Hafnia, which is a listed company in Denmark. They own 57 ships. The entire fleet uses our app for the past 2 years. They've actually put out a press release about us on their website. So if you go to our website, which is steelcorr.com, you will find the information there. You will also find list of all other clients, and we got several big names such as Stena, Ardmore, Northern Synergy, GFS, SPM, and several more that use our app.
Good. Jagdish is asking, how does the Sense system handle false positives and negatives in corrosion detection?
With a lot of hard work. Now, we went through that cycle, obviously. And again, when there are extreme shadows, there's a water-laden deck, you do get some degree of false positive. And that's why we say our AI model is at 95% accuracy, because you do have this issue of false positives. We have a filter mechanism that tries to eliminate this and make sure this does not get to a customer, so that we do not send blatant false positives out to a customer. So we have a filter mechanism that kind of roots out this. But again, that is a challenge. That's an ongoing, that's a moving target for us to keep improving our model to the level that it reduces the false positives to a minimum.
Thanks. Ken is asking, what is the accuracy of your AI and how have you benchmarked it?
Well, the way we look at it is the reports that go and the feedback of the customers, obviously. So there are different ways to benchmark, obviously, your AI model. One is the AP50 metric. The other one is to look at the reports that are generated. And we do a lot of in-house testing as well. Every so often, we send a set of images. We look at the feedback that is generated by the model for our in-house testing and are able to determine. And that's why we said a general thumb-based assessment, we are at 95% accuracy, which means 95% of the time our model predicts correct corrosion. There are 5% of the times wherein the picture will not be at 100% accuracy.
Got it. What is the requirement? I mean, what is the, so Yunan is asking here, what is the requirement on the distance where the photos were taken? I mean, this is more like GVI, general visual inspection, or close visual inspection required. How the factor of distance of observation taken into consideration in the assessment?
So, okay, because we predefine all the locations on the ship, right? We predefine right from your forecastle deck to your frames, to your hatch covers, to your vents. They're all predefined on the app. There is a guide image that shows up. Let's say the crew goes and taps a particular location. First of all, a guide image shows up for him as to what he needs to upload, right? Then in the camera, there is an overlay that appears, which gives him the shape of the object that he needs to capture. So the guy actually stands there with the camera and places that object in that overlay and then clicks upload. So that's how we manage the consistency in the images coming in.
Okay. Another good question from Hakan is, what is the typical cost?
Well, again, this is not a secret. It's on our website. It costs $2,500 per ship per year, all inclusive. And if you take the pay and inventory model, it's $3,000 per ship per year, all inclusive.
So
Can I just go back to one previous question that somebody asked me about repeatable customers? So again, if you look at our website, the world's largest classification society, DNV, they have actually put our app on their Veracity marketplace. So that's a huge stamp of validation for us, because they put our app on their marketplace in order to enable their customers use our app. So anybody can go onto our website or to the DNV Veracity platform and find our app there as well.
Good stuff. So a bunch of questions. Obviously, I think we are good on time. I think there's a lot of interest, and Leroy,
Excellent. Thank
what
you.
I'm liking is your answers are very short and to the point, which is great as well. Let's try to do as much as possible as well. So the another question is, how is the repair area calculated as opposed to the corrosion area?
So what we do is, again, this is a lot of effort has gone into this. So we each area is looked at, and there's a bounding box depending on the size of the actual corrosion. There's a bounding box that is drawn by AI around that image, which kind of accounts for the feathering and the repair that will take place and the paint square that will be created in that repair. And that's how we calculate. Now, when we set up the app at the back end, like I said, we identify the list of locations. We have your GA plans. We identify the list of locations. We also calculate the area of the ship, and we calculate the area of each of those locations. So that has been pre-fed into the app at the back end. So when we calculate the percentage on the repair area, because it's a percentage of that area, we are able to derive a meter square value for you as well.
All right. Can it identify early blistering of paint, a blister that has not ruptured yet and prior to any color change on the surface?
No, it cannot. At the moment, it cannot. That's on the roadmap, wherein we're going to capture blistering and other defects on paints. But again, that needs a different kind of AI model to capture that. So we are working on that.
All right. And is the app easy to use for ship crew as they already have a demanding schedule?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying, because with today's regulation, right? The folk, everything is required to be done by the ship's crew. There's increased regulation. Every day there's a new form that they need to fill up, a new document that they need to create. They need to keep a watch on the ship, make sure they're not fatigued. They need to get enough hours of rest and recuperation. So a typical conventional inspection takes 3 to 4 hours, because again, the guy's got to go click pictures, come back to the office, connect the cable, download the pictures, resize them, put them in an email, format them, send them off, put the captions. In our app, he does it through the app, no connection, tap, 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 click, 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 hit upload, put his phone away. So you can imagine how simple it is. So that's why I said it's normally done in 1/10 of the time that a conventional inspection takes for the crew. That's why they love it, and that's our biggest compliment for the app. And the biggest advantage that we have is this offline mode and the ease of capture that the crew love.
Got it. You got another compliment, Leroy, from Hakan. Excellent presentation. Thank you. Interestingly, nobody's praising the host, but that's fine. Okay.
I will praise you.
So another question, does the app need Wi-Fi as there is a limited Wi-Fi on the deck?
Correct. And that's a challenge as we identified. The deck does not have Wi-Fi on the ship, or limited Wi-Fi, as you rightly said, especially when it's sailing in the high ocean. Starlink has made that a little better now, but traditionally you rely on satellite connection for the Wi-Fi. So you do not need a Wi-Fi connection when you're walking around the deck with the mobile app. You do not need a connection to make a report. You can make a report over several days if you want, in parts, without the Wi-Fi connection. It's only when you finish making a report, you can come back to your accommodation on the ship where you have connectivity. That's when you tap upload and you put your phone away.
All right.
So
So
that's
it's a
how simple.
batch mode upload, I would think,
Yes,
All
it
right,
is.
okay.
It is.
Abdul Latif is asking, is the system suitable for jack-up barges?
It is, and as I just said, we've reached just in the last 3 months, we've uploaded 2 major multinational jackup rig owners to our app with all their fleets.
All right. Another compliment from Kashif, previous speaker, I believe. Great session. Well done to
Hi,
ICOR for
Kashif.
organizing it.
I did give him credit, by the way. I did tell him that his app, his system does detailed analysis
Yeah.
of the corrosion. Yep.
No, great to see our previous speakers joining us. So it's a community we are having.
Yes.
Another question: can do inspection of ballast tanks?
Yes, we do. Several of our customers use this for ballast tanks as well. And as I showed you in the slides, we can format the pictorial overview to customize it for your ballast tanks as well. And you can do the ballast tank inspection either with a human going in and clicking it, or you can even use a drone and connect it to the app directly and do the ballast tank inspection with a drone as well. So yes,
Good
100% is
stuff.
currently being used for ballast tanks.
Got it. We are at the tail end of the questions. I know I will use my question. So, Leroy, when I saw this, I mean, you're applying it. I mean, obviously there's a great model built up, and you have created a product out of it. Basically, usable product with a probably affordable for ship owners. I think it's a great example of innovation in the hands of the customers, technical innovation in the hands of the customer solving a real problem. Have you applied this to other applications like FPSO, which are kind of floating vessels, or static offshore rigs?
So no, because we were busy consolidating the maritime market, the ship market, because like I said, there are 60,000 ships in the world, right? So that itself is a huge market for us. We are literally just scratching the surface at the moment. We've just created enough credibility with few major ship owners now, and that's growing. So we have a target of 1,000 ships, and we are confident that we'll reach 1,000 ships before the year end. And that number needs to grow substantially, obviously. So, and we've recently taken on jackup barges. So there are 700 jackup barges that need that you need to bring onto the app. So we've not looked at the wider FPSO market or fixed offshore structure at the moment, because I think the demands there are also slightly different. And this is I watched your previous presentation made by Abbas and Kashif, and they do a very good job of identifying, and they go into the detail of the type of corrosion and address that pretty well, I think. So that's not a market that we want to address right now. We're going to stay focused on ships and moving assets for now, because I believe there's a lot more to do there as well.
And that's where the the niche and the specific product features comes in as well.
Because the model is trained with those images at the moment, and it's very dovetailed for those kind of images at the moment.
Anupinder is giving compliment. Great presentation and hosting. Okay, finally I received compliment as well. That's great. Abdul Latif is asking, can you please share the presentation? So to me, so at the end of this, we normally have video recording uploaded on YouTube, and we share it to all our attendees as well as registrations, and also we shared it on LinkedIn. So this video presentation, video recording will be available. Please check your emails shortly in a day time, and it will be with you.
But if somebody does want a copy of the presentation, they're quite happy to reach out to us, and we're quite happy to send you a copy of the presentation if you so wish.
That's wonderful. All right, so I think we are good on time. I think that's a sign of a great webinar. Good, all the questions, I think 30 odd questions answered. Last minute questions are coming in, so let's hold on as well. So one of the attendees is asking, I saw SIRE 2.0 in the PPT. Can you explain, please?
Oh, so SIRE 2.0 is a requirement by OCMIF, which is the oil major requirement. Now they require specific set of photographs to be uploaded, right? So SIRE 2.0 consists of photographs and a questionnaire as well. So there are detailed questionnaire, of course, but more importantly is the 36 photograph for a tanker. And there are different options. Different ships have different kinds of photographs. But for a tanker, you need to upload 36 specific photographs for a tanker, right? You can do that through our app, because when the crew go onto our app and click on SIRE 2.0, they see those 36 locations. They also see a sample of each location of what picture they need to upload. They know exactly what the picture needs to look like before he even uploads it. So we minimize or literally eliminate the chance for a mistake in uploading these photographs. So we make it very simple for the crew or for any unexperienced inspector to upload the SIRE 2.0 photographs to the app. Once they upload it through the app, it's very simple for the show team to simply go on the app and click download and get these photographs at their end.
Got it. Yeah. And there are a lot more questions coming in. I think we have some time. So, and also we're getting some compliments as well. So it's just great, So Ali Al Hazemi is asking, what is the basis used for categorizing corrosion level?
So all we do is at the moment is categorize it in terms of volume of corrosion or the area of corrosion. So if the percentage is between 0 and 1 is good, between 1 and 3 is fair, and about 3 is poor. So that's how we categorize it at the moment. There is no detailed categorization in the type of corrosion, and that's something I think the Abbas team does much better than us in terms of detailing and the type of corrosion. But we just generally categorize it based on the extent of corrosion.
Got it. Question here. Good that it is at DNV site. Does it mean that the class society has approved it?
No. So this is not a class item, right? No class needs to approve this. This is not a class regulated item. The credibility that we talk about is that for our class society to put our art on their platform gives us credibility in terms of your data privacy, your data security, the ease of use, and the credibility of the company that's providing the solution. I think that's where the credibility comes in. But none of these corrosion detection apps are class approved in any shape or form.
All right, great.
And it's not a requirement from class either.
Okay, thanks. Is it possible to get pit depths, wall thickness measurements, etc.?
No, sir. No. We do not do depth, except we do not identify the level of pitting of the corrosion, nor do we identify the wall thickness at the moment. So we purely give you extent of corrosion in terms of the area of corrosion.
And probably that's where the improvement maybe in the future for various other developments in the models to do something else,
Can be.
who knows,
Like I said, we were catering to a particular need in the market at the moment, which was being able to have a continuous monitoring system that does not need specialist inspectors to go on board the ship. Because to get on a ship is quite a challenge. Huh? As simple as it may seem, try getting on a ship is a huge challenge because to get a port pass, to get your security clearance, to be on a ship is extremely difficult. And it's apart from the cost, it's a logistical challenge because the
yeah.
ports are always remote areas. For an inspector to travel from a city to that port is quite a challenge most times. So that's
So
the
in,
problem we're trying to solve.
so in that sense, one question keep bothering me when I saw this, any technology, I'm in the same arena of technology as well. So the value proposition is very important, right? I mean, obviously you can sell this stuff. It's making the life easier for the end users, but how do you, what is the value proposition? Is it a cost saving? Is it logistical saving? Is it compliance, etc.?
So it's a lot. It's a mix of both. So like I said, if you can get a little more lifetime of your multi-billion-dollar asset, that converts a lot of money. If you can save cost of inspectors traveling to the ship to and fro a ship, the cost of one inspector traveling to your ship is covered by the use of the app for a year. Plus, in addition, you've got a database, a centralized database of your historic pictures from day one over multiple years, which you can simply use at the click of a button. So I can look at any location on my ship and see what it looked like 5 years ago, what it looked like 3 years ago, what it looked like now, and I can see the changes over time at the click of a button. I can benchmark the same location across 50 of my other ships. I can benchmark it against the industry standard and know where I stand. So there's a lot of multiple value propositions. So it's just cost saving, time saving for the crew, cost saving for the owner, life extension of the asset, paint optimization. So there's several layers to this.
Got it. Question, can we use drones to take photos and export the same to the app?
Yes, so it's compatible with the drone as well. Our app is it's already compatible. We've tested it with drones for ballast tanks. We've tested it with drones for underwater. So you can use drones as well.
Got it. I got a special compliment from Stephen Tate, who is the ex-president of ICOR. Well done to all involved and setting the standard for ICOR webinar. So that's great to hear. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
And
Thank you
in
very much.
fact, Melvin is also saying that thanks for arranging this session and it's good. So great.
Thank you, Melvin.
We'll keep it up. We'll keep going and all that as well. And I think we have to stop here. We have 2 minutes, and I have to say that thanks, Leroy, for being our host, and very good presentation. I would say I learned a lot. It was pictorial, to the point, and fundamentally, I am glad to see as a in the community, as a corrosion community person, that we are seeing applications of AI. It's not just quantifications of corrosion rates, etc. It's beyond that. It's making the life easier of inspectors and pain points and day-to-day automation. We are seeing big uptake of AI, and you are an example of that as well. So thanks for doing great work on that, not just on the AI side of things, but also on the product side of things and discovering a market which needs this. And I think this is a shining example of use of AI in real world. Thank you for all that work.
Dr. Praful Sharma, thank you for the opportunity. I said I love the work that you are doing at Corrosion Radar as well. That's quite revolutionary. I'm glad that you're growing as well in the market. So thank you very much. I want to say thank you to the Institute of Corrosion, and particularly to you, Dr. Praful Sharma, for giving me this opportunity and for shining the light on a small business like ours, and helping us showcase this app to a wider platform.
Great.
Thank you
And
very much.
Institute of Corrosion organizes these webinars. There are various branches. And since Leroy, you're joining from the UAE, there's a UAE branch created this year. So I would encourage all our audience who are joining from the UAE to consider being a member of Institute of Corrosion. We are growing globally. UK, EU, and the Middle East. So we're growing in that. So please consider joining the regional branches.
I would love to. Absolutely, I would love to.
Yeah. And just for the last few points, that we will be sending, as I mentioned, recording of this video, as well as future webinars. If you're interested, you can join in the future. Please do consider ICOR Midlands LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we keep sharing updates, please do join LinkedIn of Institute of Corrosion main LinkedIn page as well, which keeps posting new updates as well. So with that, we conclude this session. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Leroy. Thanks all the audience. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.